Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of Let's Play Cannoneer. Now that the Buccaneer video series is pretty much done for now, until I get to the end of making this, making the Cannoneer to 200 and doing some boss videos on it, and coming to a final decision about which one I want to leave the gear on. We'll just leave it on the Cannoneer. And you might be thinking, but wait, you said welcome to the Cannoneer series and you're still on your buck. Well, this is the cannon that I made probably 2 weeks ago, I'd say, or something like that, because the timing felt right. I wasn't training at the time, I wanted something to do, and I'm like, you know what, let's just go scroll this cannon. And because I had the money to do it and everything, so I figured, why not? So yeah, and while this epicosity happens, I'll just talk about a few other things. So let's see, I'll just talk about a few things on the video first. Someone saying, someone said 137 already, man, you train fast. Well, I made the Cannoneer from scratch, as you know, and I basically just got a 4-hour 2x card and trained straight for 4 hours, breaking in between to have some food. But yeah, so I got to around 97, and then I stopped there, and then I went away for the weekend, like I said in the last video I put out. So I was away for about 4 or 5 days, and then I got back. The day I got back, I jumped on the Cannoneer again, and basically took it from 197 to it took it to 97 to 135, and yeah, stopped there for the day. I was leeching it with my mechanic because I didn't have the cannon or any strength gear, not much strength gear to train it by myself at LHC at the time. And then yesterday, when I uploaded the Horntail video, I got back on and trained again. So I went from 137 to eventually I think 158. But that was because I leeched it to, leeched it. I was still training, I was still doing stuff. I was attacking on the mechanic with all the gear on it. And I got it to 140, and then I calmed all the gear off the Buccaneer and put it on the Cannoneer and started training. And that's when it started to get really fast, and I basically got to 158. So yeah, and then I left it there and decided to go to bed a little bit earlier than staying up till about 3 AM doing another 2x card, because there's no point in really going to that extremes when I could probably do the same amount of hours the next day and not be useless in terms of being really, really tired. So yeah, I decided to stop there. And all of you asking, how is that even possible? It all just comes down to gear. When you have the right percent gear, you have the right attack weapon. Yeah, a lot of my things aren't really complete yet, or haven't really even been touched, but I had, I think, about a 90k range on it at 140, and yeah, it just meant that I could train really easily. I really like the Cannoneer, how it trains. It's really mobile. You can, with the sort of recoil shot and the platform jumper skill that it has, you can basically jump from platform to platform really easily. The annoying thing is that it doesn't have any stance. I will be moving my stance skill over once I get to something a little bit more troubling, like Hall of Honor, which I will be going to at 170. So yeah, that's really how I'm getting up there so fast. It's no real issue. I was actually going a bit slower than I expected. I was expecting to do 10 levels, 10 to 12 levels every 4 hours, and I ended up doing about, I think it was 12 hours on 12 levels on the first card, and then 8 levels or so on the next one. Oh, well, it ended up being 21 levels altogether, so yeah. It wasn't as fast as I wanted it to be, but oh well. There's always more time to train, and yeah, so yeah, that's really how I've been training it. I've had a full party. I think John trained a little bit before he went off to bed, but that was when it was 1:37. But yeah, I just solo trained, and I'm just trying to rush to get to LHC, because then I can really train at any time of the day without worrying how populated it'll be. Hopefully I can line it up with 1 or 2 2x events. I'm not sure if they're doing any anytime soon. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, I think I should get it to 200 by next week. So yeah, it's getting along. It'll probably might be this time next week. I'm not sure. It just depends, if I'm going to train the next couple of nights after work and stuff like that. So it just depends on how quickly I can get to 170, and then how fast I level at 170. So yeah, but I'll be sure to keep you guys posted. And yeah, I'm just I've been thinking that if I do get this Cannoneer done really quickly, and I've still got time left over, I was kind of thinking about my options, things that I could do, and I'm actually thinking of making another mechanic, doing a Let's Play mech series as well, because while I did do a lot of videos on my other mechanic, I wouldn't have to go and, well, I probably would do them again because my damage on my mechanic wasn't that great. I really enjoyed training the mechanic, and I enjoyed using it to leech my Cannoneer just before, like the skills that it has, bots and tots and things like that. I just really still enjoy that class, so I really wouldn't mind doing that again. It'd actually be really quick, depending on what else I've got on, but I wouldn't really rush it. It'd just be something for me to do, and then, well, I'd have 2 mechanics, but I'd in essence have all pirates on one account, and I'm pretty sure that'd be a GMS first, or at least a Bellocan first. I'm not sure if there's any other pirate maniacs like me out there who have just about all of them, but yeah, and then it would mean by the time I'm done I'd have 11 200s instead of 10, and really I wouldn't have to spend any more, apart from just moving gear around, moving it from my mechanic to the other mechanic on this account. And I'd probably just do some gear upgrading while I'm at it. I have to cube out the CHDP I really want to get at least 21% dex on it, maybe 27% dex, just something like that. And then yeah, I'd have to recube another HDP to replace that for, I'd just get like 9 or 12% strength, nothing too high. But yeah, so the cannon's finished, and it's time to enhance it. But yeah, so it's just a little idea that I had with the mechanic. I'm taking the advantage now. Like, I've already created a slot for it. I've already got a name for it. All I want to do on it is get, how the hair coupons are out at the moment. The ones that change your whole appearance. I just want to get a hairstyle that I want, and then I won't have to spend any NX on that. I'll just have to change like the skin color and the eyes back, but really it's cheaper than trying to get the EXP hair that I've been trying to get. So yeah, I don't know, I'll think about it and I'll see how everything else goes, but it really just comes down to how busy I get towards the middle of November and December. It might be something that I stretch out over a longer period of time, and yeah, and then it means that I would probably have 6 200s on that account by then. So then, I'd have the 2 triple SS buffs where it has both. I'd basically have 5 and 5% boss damage, so that'd be a total of 10. And then once I got the AB to 200, I'd have 3 lots of pirates, and it'd give me the double, you know, I think it's 8% defense ignore buff that you get. So yeah, and this is me enhancing the cannon. Basically what we're doing here is, instead of going out and buying them, John, who's on iGoodHP, has a lot from just collecting them over the past few months and year or so, and he was kind enough to lend me or use a couple on it. So basically what we're doing is I shielding ward it, and then he scrolls it and he trades it back, and then I shielding ward it again, so you're able to see the attack that it's going up to, and you're able to see like when it passes and when it fails. So yeah, that's what's happening there. So I'll let you guys know what I'm planning to do with that mech thing. Just be something fun to use, because I really think that it would be a good bossing class if it were to get something like a secondary weapon where I could get more boss damage on it. And yeah, because what I'm also interested to see is the mech does okay damage. It my 200 mech, sorry, has 100k range, I think, and that doesn't have all my gear on it. It doesn't have my ring, it doesn't have a few other things on the that my jet and corsair and other things have. So that'd be good to use. It doesn't have the double pendant, so there's more %X to be added on there, and yeah, there's just a few things that I could add on to make it just that little bit better, and it'll be really interesting to see what I could do with it. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so 2 enhancements already on the cannon, and yeah, when I did this, I was just aiming to do the same as I did on the knuckle. Aim for on this I was more just see how many I can get. No real set amount, just however many goes on it, I'll just leave it at that, and if I want to, like, if it doesn't get enough, I'll redo it later. But yeah, so I was basically aiming for hoping for about 9 or 10 successful enhancements, and yeah, it's and I think it went pretty well. A lot of you have seen the final image of me showing it in the 200 on the buck, so you know what attack it gets to. But yeah, it's I found it funny when I was scrolling it, because it got right down to the last scroll, the last shield scroll from the cash shop. I didn't have any more NX, I didn't have any more meso to buy more scrolls, and it was really this is it, and it passed. So yeah, so it was good. But the frustrating thing I'm finding at the moment is there's no Cannoneer books in the FM. I'm owling just about every day. Andy gave me a couple of books that he found around the place, and the only one that I've successfully managed to complete is Mega Monkey Magic, which is it's a good skill, but I really needed something like Cannon Bazooka and Cannon Barrage and Cannon Overload to pass, because they're actually really good skills. But yeah, I'll just continue to owl in the FM. But yeah, it's a bit frustrating, because I think I had, it was all the 20 books that I was failing, so I didn't even get a chance to use the 30 books. And yeah, but what can you do? Even books at their rate can fail, so yeah. But yeah, let's see what else is going on. Almost at 2,000 subscribers, and yeah, that'll be a pretty good occasion when it happens. It's pretty exciting. I was always hoping that I'd get there, and yeah, it's a. I remembered when I got 1,000 subscribers, and it was a really good feeling, and just going that little bit more to get another 1,000, and then seeing where we can go from here. Hopefully push for higher, But yeah, it's a good achievement. And yeah, I really couldn't have done it without you guys. But yeah, thank you to you all. And yeah, I look forward to the videos that I'm going to put out in time to come. You know, there'll be more cubing on the horizon. You know, I'll probably cube this cannon a little bit. You know, maybe aim for unique or legendary. You know, I wouldn't mind doing something really funny and getting percent boss damage on it. You know, if it turns out to be a good class to attack on. And I'm not really taking any assumptions of how it's going to be. You know, some people have told me that, you know, it's really slow and everything else, that in terms of bossing, not training. And training, it's really fast. But yeah, we'll see. And yeah, that's, you know, really all that's been happening. I'll just scroll into another video and see what I can find. People keep asking for meso guides. I'm not sure if they're just doing it as a joke or not now, but yeah, it's I don't merch at all, trust me, I don't. And yeah, let's see, what have other people said? Someone's saying I should do an Empress run, you know, try and solo it. Empress is pretty challenging. You know, I'd have to gear the Cannoneer out a lot. I'd probably have to get, you know, probably 21% or 27% on every single equip, and then get, you know, boss damage on it, and then, you know, when it gets a secondary weapon, get boss damage on that too, and then probably, yeah, only be able to do V2, the second run of the instructors. I'll give it a try just for fun, but yeah, it'll be a bit challenging. Because, well, as long as it has a good defense, well, a good level of defense when it comes up against them, because, you know, there's a few restrictions, like you can only use a pot every 30 seconds and things like that. You know, there's pot cooldowns and, you know, all those fun things. So yeah, I don't know. I'll give it a try. I'm more likely to be successful of some sort at doing it on, you know, the mechanic. I tried on the jet. I didn't get very far because, you know, I just don't have the best amount of defense or avoidability. So yeah, it's just yeah, it's challenging, because I came up against the first Eckhart instructor, and he did 6k against me with his Avenger, and yeah, I think I had something like 14k HP or something on my jet, so it'd take me down to 8, and then he'd summon all his minions, and then his minions would attack me too, and I'd heal myself, but then I'd have to keep running away from him, avoiding him, and getting in little shots every time like it presented itself. So yeah, it was challenging, and then I didn't get past him. So I think I just used the opportunity to waste some wheels, to be honest. But yeah, the hair on my Corsair that you see there, that's what I want to get for the mechanic that I'm trying to make on, yeah, so, or the mechanic that I'm planning to make. Might just have it as a mule if I don't do anything with it, but yeah, that's the hair that I'll be trying to get. You know, it's very hard to get at NLC. It's one of the hairs that I've gotten once or twice, but I haven't, yeah, I haven't been able to get it like the other hair that I've been getting, like ebon hair and stuff like that, you know, where it's first try. So I've got it on my bishop already from opening those envelopes. So yeah, it's gettable. So I'll just keep trying. You know, it'll probably take a while to get it, but it's worth not spending the NX on, you know, hair coupons where you don't really gain anything from it at all. Well, that being said, you sometimes don't really gain anything from cubing either, but you get what I mean. So, yeah, it was, as enhancements go along, you know, the success rate of it passing decreases. So, yeah, it was getting challenging towards the end. But, how many? Yeah, I can't remember how many it would have around that time. Let's just see if I'll hover over it. Well, there was one big one. I think it might have 6 on it. But yeah, let's see. What else? Yeah, and the CZAC video that's uploading right now at the moment, as I'm recording this, it's I managed to do it, but it took a while on the Buccaneer, mainly because it doesn't have any percent boss damage or anything like that. You know, it had some strength gear, it had the perfected knuckle, but it didn't really have anything else to really help it. And it started off going really well, and then it sort of gets a bit nuts towards the end. You know, just Horntail. Yeah, it's Chaos Sackham. It's challenging. Horntail wasn't so bad. It seduced a couple of times, but yeah, Chaos Sackham certainly seduced a lot more. Yeah, and right, well, I took 4 wheels in, and I figured, well, you know, I'll probably die once or twice, and, you know, it'll be alright. So then I figured, you know, let's see how we go, and I had 1 wheel to go, and I'm like, oh, it's alright, yeah, I'll allow myself to die at least once more before the end, you know, because I figure that'll be, you know, the most challenging part, and yeah, I nearly died after I'd used the last wheel too, so yeah, so I think it ended up being like a 50-minute run. Yeah, very, very long one, but oh well. It was fun. I'm looking forward to how it'll be on the Cannoneer. You know, that'll really be interesting, so hopefully I can cube the cannon a little bit, and yeah, I don't know, hopefully it'll be alright, we'll see. But yeah, so I think the cannon is now finished. I've used all my shielding wards, and yeah, let's have a look. Maybe I might be doing something else with it, I can't remember. Yeah, it has 8 on it. Yeah, so that's the end product. I might go for more on it later, but that's all from me today. Alright, catch you later.